In tonight's headlines, Chief Executive John Lee plans to garner support for Hong Kong's admission to the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership as he heads to Peru for the Apec Summit. Severe tropical storm Toraji will skirt around 200 kilometers south of Hong Kong. The observatory will assess the need for issuing higher signals depending on weather conditions. And the Hang Seng Index falls below the 20,000 point mark, erasing policy-included gains. Chief Executive John Lee said he will gather support for Hong Kong to join the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership during a summit in Peru's capital Lima later this week. Leaving tonight for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Conference, the city leader said he will participate in various events and activities, exchanging views with other leaders to enhance ties with other governments. He added that this would be his first time paying an official visit to South America during his tenure, and that there is room for Hong Kong to develop its connections with the region beyond the existing ties. This year's APEC conference will be held on Friday and Saturday. Due to a lack of direct flights, the chief executive will leave tonight, transiting through Madrid in Spain and arriving in Lima, Peru on Wednesday night local time. Lee did not attend last year's conference, which was held in the United States. Meanwhile, Lee said he hopes for continued trade relations with the United States, but called for mutual respect, adding that the U.S. enjoys significant economic benefits in the SAR.
Any country or economies which want to develop trade relations or normal relations with another economy, then mutual respect is important. And also, there should be respect so that there will be non-interference with local affairs, internal affairs.
He hoped that all countries that want to conduct trade with Hong Kong would refrain from using political interference to affect the region's judiciary and normal business activities. His remarks came after he was asked about his views on potential U.S. policies towards mainland and Hong Kong after Donald Trump won the election, with Trump reiterated that he would seek the release of jailed media tycoon Jimmy Lai a few days ago. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
Standby signal number 1 will remain in effect until at least tomorrow noon, as Typhoon Taji will remain quite some distance from the city, but Hong Kongers are told to expect a higher warning signal tomorrow afternoon. Under Toraji combined effect with the northeast monsoon, winds over the region will strengthen gradually later tomorrow, with Toraji's outer ring bands also affecting the southern coast of China, the Hong Kong Observatory predicted, adding that it will consider issuing the typhoon signal number 3 tomorrow afternoon. Toraji, meaning beautiful flower that blooms unnoticed in Korean, is expected to skirt about 200 kilometers south to the city by Thursday morning, depending on the intensity and the change in local wind conditions. The weather forecaster will assess the need of upgrading to higher typhoon warning signals by then.
Volatility in mainland equities had a trickle-down effect on Hong Kong stocks, which ended the day losing 2.8%. The benchmark Hang Seng Index dropped below the 20,000 point mark for the first time since late September, when Beijing had announced a series of stimulus measures. Another package announced by mainland authorities last week to increase the debt ceiling for local governments has failed to impress investors. Geopolitical factors and the onset of a Donald Trump presidency in the United States has kept investors on the sidelines, assessing the uncertainties. Currency traders are betting on the yuan to weaken further against the US dollar, as tariffs on goods made in China are likely to go up. Shares of electric vehicle manufacturers lost traction, with automobile dealer Zhongsheng Holding falling 9.6%, while Li Auto hit the brakes, plunging 5.6%.
a male cleaner died after a suspected fall into the sea off the Stonecutters Island this morning. The incident occurred at a cargo loading area on Ngong Wan Road. Authorities received a report around 8:45 a.m. that a worker who was on night shift from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. was found missing by his supervisor, while his personal belongings remained in the office. Emergency services checked the surveillance footage, which showed that the victim had approached the waterfront shortly before 6 a.m., leading to suspicions that he had fallen into the sea. In response, divers searched the waters and found the victim floating between two boats near the shore. The worker was then rushed to Princess Margaret Hospital, where he was pronounced dead.
Former Wall Street Journal reporter Selena Chan said today that she has initiated legal proceedings against the newspaper for what she describes as illegal dismissal, citing a likely violation of employment ordinance. Chan said she was made redundant in July, weeks after she was elected chair of the Hong Kong Journalists Association.
Today I've brought all the evidence that I have to the Labor Department here. And then I will make my claim at the Labor Tribunal, and tomorrow I will meet with investigators from the Labor Department's Claim Investigation Division, which will pursue this through criminal procedures. So this is a two-track process. I will file my civil claim, and I will also cooperate fully with the government's investigators to pursue this as a criminal matter.
Chan said she had sought mediation with her former employer through private channels and legal representatives, but their communication was not fruitful, and her former employer refused to reinstate her job. Dow Jones, which publishes the newspaper, has not commented on the matter. Chan has previously stated that she was told her position was eliminated due to restructuring. However, she suspected that she was sacked because she refused to withdraw from the election for the chairperson of the journalists' trade union, as requested by her superior.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump is systematically building a governing team, picking up like-minded individuals who will take forward his hardline Make America Great Again commitment. The former president is likely to nominate Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. Although the appointment has not officially been announced, the Florida senator is considered to be one of the most hawkish candidates for the job, and he's expected to be tough on U.S. relations with China and Iran. Another likely name to feature in the new administration is Mike Waltz. The Republican congressman from Florida, who is a longtime Trump supporter and a veteran of the war in Afghanistan, is expected to become the National Security Advisor. Tom Homan, who served as Director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement during Trump's first term, is likely to get a similar position this time around. The 62-year-old former Border Patrol agent is a strong advocate of Trump's deportation policy for undocumented migrants.
In celebration of the Silver Jubilee since the listing of the Tracker Fund in 1999, Financial Secretary Paul Chan hailed the fund as a significant milestone in the development of the city's financial market and expected it to further attract capital and strengthen Hong Kong's position as an international finance center.
The creation of the fund was for the orderly and non-disruptive disposal of a substantial portfolio of shares acquired by the government in a decisive market operation back in 1998 amid Asian financial crisis. to uphold market stability and integrity. This pioneering approach of creating an exchange-traded fund as a disposal vehicle not only served as an innovative and successful exit strategy for the government, but also marked a significant milestone in our financial market development.
Hang Seng Investments, the fund manager of the Tracker Fund of Hong Kong, said it does not just want the fund to be recognized by local investors, but also plans to introduce the fund to more overseas markets to tell the Hong Kong story. Established in the aftermath of the market crash in 1999, the Tracker Fund saw its assets value tripled since inception a quarter of a century ago, from $33.3 billion to more than $150 billion. Hang Seng Investments said the fund, also known as the Hong Kongers Fund, is not just an investment tool, but also a representation of the city's resilience.
Actually, the establishment of the Tracker Fund was also in a very difficult period, which was after the Asian financial crisis, which the government actually participate and to defend for the Hong Kong market.
Including dividends, the fund yielded a total return of more than 2.6 times as of last Friday, with an annualized return of 5.27%. Meantime, the fund is not only well received by local investors. As the first batch of ETFs included in Stock Connect in July 2022, Lee said the fund has attracted notable self-bank capital from the mainland.
Take September this year as an example. Actually, the southbound inflow into the tracker funds actually account for 70% of the turnover. And in terms of the average daily AUMs, actually is roughly around 4.4 billion.
Stepping into the 26th year anniversary of the Tracker Fund, Lee wished to bring the fund further and expand its footprint in overseas markets.
We also focusing on how to promote the Hong Kong story, which is well represented by Tracker Fund to other overseas investors, including mainland investors through the ETF Connect, and also to other Southeast Asia markets like Thailand. We actually listed to a depository receipt, which is linked to the Tracker Fund.
The fund pays out twice a year, with an average dividend yield of more than 3.5% over the past 10 years. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.